Hi all, welcome to Jen's Creation Station and another episode of Late Night Lattes and Crafts. Tonight we'll be making this super fast, super simple card, and it's inspired by the Occasions mini catalog from Stampin' Up. Let me show you my inspiration here. It's this card right here. Try to keep the glare off of it for you. And they use 3 colors on a white base, and I'm going to use black and silver. And I'm going to use a Simple Memories stamp set from Close to My Heart that has doily looking stamps in it. And then for you, as you can see, I used a smaller stamp, and that's from Elements of Style from Stampin' Up. So let's get started. I wanted to show you my 2 cards. This was the first card I made, and I used an embossing ink pad. And as you can see, there were some sections that didn't ink properly, and the Perfect Pearls didn't stick very well. This cardstock I used a silver ink pad, and the ink stuck very well to the cardstock, and the Perfect Pearls stuck very well to the ink. And I just wanted to show you the difference. I tried this several times with my embossing ink pad and just could not get an even application of the ink for the Perfect Pearls to stick to it. I just wanted to show you the comparison between the two. You can see shadows on this one, and that's where it has an ink dwell. Okay, for this card you're going to need a piece of black cardstock that's 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to make it an A2 size card. And then you'll need a scrap of white, a scrap of black, and a scrap of silver cardstock. And that's for the sentiment. The sentiment is in white, and then it's back with black, and then with silver. Now for my sentiment, I punched the white with a 1-inch punch, I punched the black with a 1 1/4 inch punch, and then I punched the silver in with a 1 3/8 inch punch. So if you have a 1-inch sentiment, you'll need these 3. If you have a larger or smaller sentiment, you just adjust your size punches for the size sentiment to fit inside. Now you'll also need a silver ink pad. This one is Encore Ultimate Metallic Silver. The stamp set I'm using is called Simple Memories, and it's from Close to My Heart, and it's D1472. It's brand new in their January 2011 catalog. I'm going to use this stamp right here. The stamp set I used for my sentiment was Elements of Style from Stampin' Up, and I used this 4U stamp right here. That fit really nicely into a 1-inch punched circle. And then, as I said before, I'm going to use Ranger's Perfect Pearls. And this one is called Perfect Pearl. On black cardstock it looks silver. And you'll also need your brushes to go along with your Perfect Pearls. This one is the application brush. Then after it's all applied, then you brush it off with the thicker brush. Okay, the first place I'm going to apply ink is right up here. And I do have a foam piece underneath for an added cushion to make sure I get even coverage. Remember, this ink stays very wet, so you want to try to keep your card in one place while you're inking so you don't end up with silver on the back. Now I'm going to re-ink my stamp, and then I'm going to stamp the one on right here. And that's almost a whole stamp right there on that corner. So we're just going to... There we go. Now I'm going to replace my paper so that I don't get ink on the back of my card, because I need to do just the corner here. There we go. Now we're ready to add our Perfect Pearls. Now, as you can see, I have a little hairline of ink from my acrylic block, but that's going to be covered up by my sentiment, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now, I'm going to open my Perfect Pearls, and I'm just going to start at the top and start applying it. And I like to work down on my card and make sure I get it all covered. And you can see where you need to add more. It's kind of dull or lighter colored than the rest of the image. Don't scrub too hard, or you may smear the ink. It takes a real light touch. Like I said, it doesn't take much. You can see where it's pooling, kind of. I just kind of try to brush that out, and it just gives it just an amazing shimmer. And as you can see, I'm holding my cardstock very still. That's just because I don't want a lot of perfect pearls on the back of my black cardstock. And it will come off. It looks cloudy right now, but what I do is I let it dry for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I actually take a tissue and wipe it down, and that actually removes all the extra perfect pearls and the cloudiness from the cardstock. Okay, now I'm going to lift this up just so I can see if I need to add any more. You can see where you're missing some. It's pretty. You'll get used to looking at it and seeing. Okay, now that is ready for the second brushing, and I just dropped my brush on the floor. Put that down. Close my perfect pearls, and I'm going to actually flick it. And as you see, I got some on the back. That'll brush off. And then you just start brushing off the excess. And this brush that comes with the perfect pearls is very soft. And you see there's still some cloudiness, but once I let that dry, I can wipe it off with a tissue. There we go. Now I'm just going to set this part aside and let it dry for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to get rid of this sheet because it's got the perfect pearls on it. While we're waiting for our perfect pearls and our ink to dry a little bit, I'm going to take I took my 1 1/4 inch black circle, punch circle, and put it on the 1 3/8 inch silver. And then I'm going to add some foam to the back of this. And I'm just going to center this on there. Now that's all ready for my card. And I'll be back in just a minute with the finished card. So here's our finished card so far, and I'm just going to take a white tissue and I'm just going to wipe it down, and that'll remove all the cloudiness from the perfect pearls still left on the card. And then I'm going to just take some quick liquid adhesive because I have it handy on the back of my little sentiment. And I'm just going to put it right there. And our card is done. Thanks for stopping by Jen's Creation Station tonight. Have a great night.